last time in our adventures in Thedas, you had a few personal moments with some people. Iona and Theodora had traveled to a sort of refugee camp where they had encountered some elves and some people from Chantry, some people that liked them, some people that liked them a bit less. Iona had encountered images of the Dread Wolf, which did not make Iona very happy, but what are you going to do? Is it just the way things are sometimes, you know? The way things are sometimes. And Jesper had a very tender moment with her beau, Braun, as they had discussed the possibility of her finding safety, but perhaps a bit of a gilded cage over in the Circle of Magi's tower. Meanwhile, Parea had been dealing with the Blood Mage Merite, who was being interrogated by Chael, the Grey Warden, and Gereon, the Tevinter Magister. During the interrogation, Viola began to cough very violently. Blood shot out of her mouth, and the Blood Mage used this to cast a spell, and the floor gave way, and a whole bunch of hurlocks came hurling out, which is why they call them hurlocks. Came hurling out of the hole and started attacking the city. The lot of you had then proceeded down into the tunnels below to try and retrieve Chael, the Grey Warden, along with Mireille, the Chevalier from Orlais, the Blood Mage Merite, and one of the Templars, who had fallen down into the depths below. And as you descended down, well, we'll see exactly what you found, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. And so as we begin here tonight, my friends, heading into the depths of the deep roads. And now the music's not working, which is always great. Go do it. There we go. I'm not sure why it's not playing. Let me double check where it's supposed to be coming out. Why is that into default again? Hold on. Make sure not to blow everyone's eardrums. Miko will edit this in post. We'll fix it in post. All right. Still no music. Jeebus, what's going on? Raven, help. I'm very sorry. I'm going to fix this in just a moment. There's always something.
I believe in you, Bleak.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
It does buy time for Pyrea to come back.
I'm just going to restart Concool. Sometimes, you know, we just got to restart things. Haha. That's what it was. There we go.
Bleak is so smart, and he can definitely work technology.
Affirmations.
We're gonna make like that never happen. Hey, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Thank you, Varl. All right, my friends. Provenance. Where do we come from? More to the point. What sins and expectations have been hung about us ere we were even born? The Maleficarum are fond of saying it's in the blood. They speak of power, but so much else lies in the blood. Frailty, duty, destiny, sickness. We carry the weight of those who came before us, whose blood we inherited, whose unfinished business or unfulfilled passions whose debts and failures and evanescent dreams we wear like a too often ill-fitting mantle of deepest crimson. Blood is a river that flows from the beginning of time, through us and onward, and carries with it all matter of things we know not until they pull us under from their weight. In the blood lies epochs, and we are but moments. But sometimes, a moment is all it takes to divert the course of empires. So we find ourselves in the depths of the deep roads beneath Hasmal, far below, where you have encountered a group of Herlocks, a group of other people. You're not too sure. There is a Kunari down there. There is what appears to be a human, though he looks a little bit kind of strange, and there is the Blood Mage Marite. And when last we saw you, Marite, the Blood Mage, had taken control of Jesper through the blood. And just before Theodora got to even make a move, a giant ogre came climbing up the wall next to her. As you are mentally going through your list of spells or what you could do perhaps to try and lend a hand, you feel this warm, clinging, rot-smelling breath wash over you. It clings to you almost like a film as this ogre reaches over the side of the stairwell and pulls himself up and roars in your face, spittle and blood and who God knows what else flinging from his mouth onto your face. What would you like to do, Theodora?
So, my plan originally was to stay exactly where I was, but that doesn't seem like a good idea. So, just gonna start backing up toward. She's gonna look over her shoulder and back up as fast as possible and try and round around Iona. That's the first thing she's gonna do. I don't know how movement works here, but I will assume I have enough movement for that.
Sort of like that?
Yeah, exactly. Literally, she's gonna put Iona between her and this ogre. It seems like a good plan, right? Yeah. Okay.
What else would you like to do?
Now, would I be aware that there is some sort of magic affecting...
No, I'm gonna say no because you were kind of far away and it's not been super obvious. I let Pyrea make a test because Pyrea's got blood magic also. Unless you tell me you have blood magic suddenly.
Alright, I just wanted to check. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Holy moly, AD&D and Proud, thank you so much for that
Yay!
very generous gift of subs. That's really cool. Thank you so much, mate. We appreciate you very, very much. Thanks everyone else has been donating bits too. I've lost track a little bit, but Varl is up there with the dragon marks, the tally of them. Jesper, you're at 5, Viola at 3, Iona at 7, and Theodora at 5.
5. I had myself burnt down for 4. Okay.
Time to start spending those.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, I've been rolling 3d6 and then dropping the lowest, so that's what's been happening. I'm going to stop doing that because that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, considering that she does not know that Jesper is under any sort of effects of magic, and the task that they are here for is to get everybody basically back out. So what she is going to do, even though it is probably not the most efficient thing, but she doesn't know that, she doesn't know that. She doesn't know that. Is Chael within range for my heal spell? I don't know how healing ranges work here. It says... Honestly, it doesn't even... Nope, I have to touch him. I'm not doing that. I am not fighting through everything here. You would think... I have to touch him. I can't do that. You would think I would have something planned here, but I realize I don't. Who is this here in this middle, by the way?
That's
I moved him.
Braun.
That's Braun? I moved him by
Braun.
accident. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm going to pop up over Iona's shoulder, realizing that I'm too far away for healing, and I am not fighting through 60 people down here. That is not a thing that I am doing. I don't know about Jesper. Jesper looks fine to me. It's just a little, I don't know what's going on there. I will simply Arcane Lance the damn ogre over Iona's shoulder. I will scurry around her, and then I will pop up, and I will just use my staff.
Yeah, excellent.
And that's it. That's all I can do.
Go for it.
It's 3d6, right? I gotta relearn these rules. 3d6.
Yeah, it's 3d6. One of them has to be a different color because it's your dragon die. If you use a dragon mark, you get to add another die, another dragon die, and then you get to pick whichever 3 of the dice you like.
I rolled bad anyway. That is a 6 plus stuff. Probably not that great.
It's probably gonna miss.
6, 7, 8, 9. I think it's like 9 total.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as you skedaddle down the stairs, you turn around and whip your staff at him, and the arcane lance fires off, but it just completely misses him and goes and crashes into the stone behind him somewhere. He roars and continues climbing up onto the thing. Back up to the top. Is there something else? Sorry?
No, it literally just stayed with Iona above table.
Coming back up towards you, you see the Kunari that was with the group below. She is rushing up with a double-bladed axe and is making a beeline for Braun. Jesper at 13, unfortunately, you are controlled. However, you get to make a save, a roll to see if you can get yourself out of it. So go ahead.
Okay.
Make a willpower.
And I'm gonna use 2 dragon marks as well here.
You can only use 1 at a time, unfortunately.
I can only use 2 at a time? Okay. Well, then I'm using 1.
So it's a willpower, self-discipline.
Okay. Guys, I should be able to get out of this, no problem. Guys. Okay. So I dropped the lowest out of these? Okay.
No.
I get to
you had all. Oh yeah, sorry. Absolutely, yeah, because you used the extra die.
Yeah. I'm counting. Okay, perfect, because that's okay. $21.
21. All right, so that's pretty good. I was just rereading the spell, and I actually get to control your action. You get to make your save after the thing. So at the end of this turn, you will regain your your control. But so the lot of you watch as Jesper shoves Braun. You're gonna make a brawl attack roll at -2.
I think I know she's not here, but I think Pyrea grabbed me.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I think I'm grappled.
Very true. So you're gonna make the attack against her actually and try to break free from her. So go ahead and make your brawl attack roll, but you make it a -2.
Do I have a negative dragon mark that I can use to suck at this?
I like that. I like that, Ron. I think that's a good idea. You can spend 1 mark beforehand to modify a roll, or 2.
Oh, I rolled so shit.
If you want to do it after the roll.
Okay. So it's a -2?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a total of 2.
So you struggle very inefficiently against Pyrea, trying to get out of the hold, but she's a strong one. Her internet connection is not great, but she's very, very powerful as she holds it. Oh my god. It almost makes me feel bad.
No, I don't feel bad.
The fellow here with also with the battle axe, who appears to be human, but somehow a little kind of strange and messed up looking, also starts running up the stairs, and he comes up here and he reaches out and he reaches and he grabs Jesper, and he yanks her. And he pulls you right out, and he kind of like pushes you behind him, and you start rolling down the stairs. Boom, 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 until you hit the ground there. And then Iona, you get to go. You have an ogre breathing down your neck, Iona.
I sure do. Iona's kind of looking back and forth between the ogre and kind of behind her and being like, what do I focus on? There's a lot going on at this point. But I think that the ogre is probably more of a concern for Iona. I'm going to reload with my free action.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to use a minor action to aim my bow. And then I am going to fire. So that's going to give me a +3, and I'm going to use a dragon mark.
Excellent. Hey, Rara. Welcome in, man. How you doing?
I'm not even joking. I rolled 3 6s and a 5.
Sweet.
So that's going to be...
This was Vaesen, you'd have been rocking it.
That's going to be, I think it's going to be like 21.
Yeah, that's good.
And
Give
I
him
get
some lovin'.
to do a stunt, correct?
Yes.
I rolled doubles.
Yep.
So let me roll my base. So that's going to be 7 points of damage to start with.
I do have a
And
tab
then-
with the stunts in the cheat sheet.
Yeah. And then I have 6 stunt points because I rolled a 6 on my dragon die. So I'm gonna do the lethal blow and roll an extra 2d6 of damage.
All right.
Ooh. That's going to be an extra 7 points of damage.
Ooh. Nice.
And I'm going to try and back up just a little bit.
Okay. No problem. At 12 also, you anyone who's kind of around, mainly I would think Theodora and Iona, you will see Braun start to move to try and get past these, or go after Jesper, and then he hears the roar of the ogre and he turns, and you can see him being very, very torn between what he should do. He knows that as a Grey Warden, he's the best equipped to deal with that thing, but at the same time, Jesper is down below, and you see this decision, this conflict on his face tear him apart for a moment, and then he drops his bow and draws his axes and starts running up here. And as he gets to there, taking his running start, he leaps up into the air and kind of hits the ogre with his knees, and the two of them go tumbling back off the parapet, and the two of them disappear down to the side here, and you hear screams coming from the other side of this stairwell. The Blood Mage steps forward and will seeing Theodora there, Sorry, Theodora. That's a 6, 12... 19 to hit you, Theodora.
That is way higher than any possible number I have on the sheet.
Okay. You will take 9 points of damage as she arcane lances you from her staff. The blood red bolt shooting forward and slamming right into you, sending you reeling back.
That is very mean.
Very, very mean. At 8, Viola, seeing these two kind of coming towards her, also starts to backpedal, but there's no room for her to go anywhere. She arcane lances the Kunari and hits. Kunari stumbles a little bit as she's hit by the arcane lance, and then you can see her locks start to move in. And to your dismay, you hear the sound of more of them coming from upstairs. A couple of them will go in that direction. At 7, Theodora.
Things have massively changed here. And Theodora is not much of a offensive gal. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm very mad that these stairs are they're kind of crowded.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually do have one offensive spell, and I'm very sorry to. Could I cast Mind Blast? I create a circular blast of telekinetic force with a 2-yard radius centered anywhere within 250 yards that I can see. So 2 yards is 6 feet, correct? How big is 6 feet here? That'll be totally fine to just clear these stairs. Could I do it in the middle of these two that are on the stairs? And
Absolutely.
I want them off the stairs because so that Jesper can potentially come back up. Those caught in the black, they need to make a strength test, a might test against my spell power, which I don't know how to calculate. Let me check the cheat sheet.
Oh.
Spell power 10 plus magic.
And
10, 11, 12, 13. And this is a spirit spell, so it's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I think? They need to beat a 17 on might.
okie dokie. The Kunari, because she is Kunari, it's a -1, so rolled an 11.
Okay.
The other feller, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's pretty crappy. Rolled 7. A 12.
Okay, so they are both knocked prone and they cannot take a major action on their next turn.
Alrighty. Very good. Excellent.
And if they were preparing actions, I don't know if they were, they're also automatically lost.
Excellent.
And that's it. She just kind of knocks them down. She's not, they're just kind of lying on the floor now, but she is very loath to be parted from the rest of this group.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go anywhere. She doesn't want to go anywhere by herself. So I think she's gonna stay where she is. She's gonna be like, yeah, no.
Excellent. At 5, Mireille, the Chevalier, the Arlesian Chevalier that was with Chael's group, finally reaches out and grabs her sword. And Iona, she does something you've never seen her do before. She grabs her sword and kind of gets herself up on one knee. And as she does, she slams the blade of her sword down, and around her erupts this power that you've only seen Templars use before. She emits this aura of magic negation around her that reaches a few yards out from where she is. And as she does, the spell that Merite had going on that was holding Jesper breaks, even though Jesper, you're about to save yourself from it anyways. But what I will do is I will give you an action, Jesper, here at the end of the round. As you are on the ground and find yourself trying to pick yourself up, this aura of magic negation has exploded out of her. The Herlocks are kind of reeling from it.
Yeah.
And you kind of snap to. What would you like to do?
Some quick math. Okay. So, Jesper is like kind of, there was someone in her head, she fell, everything kind of hurts a little bit, but she's kind of where she wanted to be. All things considered, she knew she needed to get closer. She uses her staff to stand back up, and almost as if she's mirroring her, Jesper lifts her staff and slams it into the ground, and from her feet, this green fog begins to spread out and around her in a radius of 30 feet.
Oh, nice.
As she casts miasm. So all of my enemies within 30 feet of me need to make a Constitution stamina test against my spell power, or get a -2 to defense and a -2 to all of their attacks.
All right. 30 feet, we said.
Uh-huh. It's big. It's a big one.
It is. Let me make that greenish.
And I'm like in the middle of that.
Okay. Oops. That's not what I want to do.
Another one.
Okay. Remind me what that does?
So they need to make, all of them that are within the radius need to make a Constitution stamina check. So just let me know what they get.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
That does not pass.
6, 10, 13 again. That's not going to pass either.
No.
That's not going to pass either. And that's not going to pass either. Wow, doing good. I rolled 1 a lot with that dragon there. All right, so all of them fail. So what happens when they fail?
All of them take a -2 to their defense and a -2 to all of their attacks while the spell is up.
Oh, excellent. All right, cool. So they start to, the ones around you, here you go. As this green miasma expands out around you, and starts to affect all of them. Right, and at 4, Chael is writhing on the ground. At 15, she will get herself
fine. He's
up.
got like 4 rounds.
He has 4 rounds left, guys. We can get to him. It'll be okay. Jesper's gonna clear a path for you, Theodora.
He rushes down and is going to try to grab you.
She doesn't have a major action.
Oh, that's right. Excellent. She just moves over here. Excellent. Back to Jesper.
You muted.
Jesper. Oh. Okay. This is a very high risk, high reward play. If Chael is already down, that means he can't take any more damage, right?
No. If he takes damage, I would say that that's bad.
Okay. Okay. Maybe let's not do that then. I don't like that this lady is right next to me. I really don't like that. But what if I still did it, but I just did it somewhere else? Okay, let me do more quick maths. Okay. Who's within 10 yards of me? So who's within 30 feet of me? Not that many people, unfortunately. But I can move, right? I can get away from this lady and she's not going to hurt me. Ostensibly, right?
Ostensibly, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to move first. Jesper is going to kind of bob and weave her way until she gets over here, and the miasm moves with her. And she is going to point at this Herlock here, the one that's kind of on the edge of the this one.
Yeah.
And she's going to cast Walking Bomb on him.
I love that spell in the game.
She points her staff at him, and on the round I cast it, it does 1d6 plus 1 penetrating damage. So I'm gonna roll that. While the spell is active. While the spell is in effect, the target must make a Constitution Stamina test versus your spell power at the start of each of their turns. If successful, spell ends. If it fails, takes another. Okay, so I can't tell if I need to roll to hit this guy.
What does the spell say?
It just you infuse the blood of an opponent within 10 yards with a corrosive poison. The round you cast it, the Walking Bomb inflicts 1d6 penetrating damage.
If it doesn't state to make a roll, I'm pretty sure you just make a regular magic roll against his resistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make a magic roll. Make a magic. I'm so good at magic rolls, and I love entropy spells. It's not an entropy spell. It's a spirit spell.
Someone's got a spirit staff somewhere in the group.
Someone's got a spirit staff. Well, we're not swapping staffs right now, are we?
That's how you get a staff. That's how you get a staff infection.
Okay, so my casting power is 3d6 plus 3, so I'm gonna
go to town.
Do that. Go to town. I wish it was an entropy spell, because then I would get so much more. Okay, so that is going to be that's an 11, I think.
11 is on the nose.
Ooh. If it meets it, it beats it?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes. Okay. So now he takes that damage. So that is 5 penetrating damage. And then at the start of his turn, he'll make a constitution. Oh, and I guess all of the ones that are now in my miasm also need to make constitution
Okay.
checks. Stamina checks.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, good stuff. At 13, he will rise from his slumber. He looks up at the three of you, hesitates, and runs back down here. Iona at 12.
Do I have a clear shot at that dude from here?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going
just have
to
kind of step forward. You'd be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna minor action. I'm gonna take aim after reloading, and then I am going to use a dragon mark as I fire down on him. That's going to be 11, 14, 17, 20 to hit.
That hits.
Okay.
I also want to say that you're hearing more and more Hurlocks coming down from behind you, just so you are aware.
That's terrible.
Yep.
That is going to be 7 points of damage.
That's good. He's not happy with that.
And Iona's kind of looking to Viola and Theodora, like, back up, knowing that the Hurlocks are coming from both ways now. We're getting kind of boxed in.
Okie dokie. Merite, being the bad person that she is, proceeds to squeeze her hand, the wound that she already has there, and as blood flows out of her, she is looking at Theodora, I think. For now, probably Iona. Iona, give me a... hold on, you might not need to. Yep, you do. Give me a willpower self-discipline test.
All
right, excellent. You feel your blood start to boil and you feel your body start to seize as if something from the inside is trying to take control of you, but you manage to resist it quite well.
Acid reflux.
The acid reflux. Damn acid reflux. At 8, Viola starts to cough again. You can see that she's kind of reeling. She's got a hand up on the wall. She's coughing again and blood's coming out of her mouth. And she kind of falls to her knees and rolls down to that landing there and is caught in a fit of coughing. The Hurlocks are coming down. This one will take a swing at you. Ooh, 11, 13, 19. Iona, 19.
Think that, yeah, that hits.
All right, and he's gonna spend points to get his dual strike, and that's gonna be 15. Higher than that, it's gonna be 20 some odd. So you're gonna take 2 blows. You're gonna take the first blow is going to be 8, 9, 10 minus your armor.
Okay.
And the second blow is going to be 16 minus your armor.
Okay.
It's starting to look pretty ugly. Theodora at 7.
Okay, so I'm here when Viola like collapsed and rolled down the stairs. She like took a couple of steps forward to run toward her, and then Iona took a nasty blow. So now she's kind of like stuck in the middle of the stairs, deciding which way she's going. So like she's got Viola over here, and then Iona over there, and then she's seeing all of these Herlocks gang up on Jesper down there. It's not great, guys. Folks, it's not good.
It's not good.
Above the table, how bad does Iona look? Like, how nasty is this? Does she look okay, or is this like...
You would say that she's a little more than half. If you were to put a numerical value on her health.
Numerical.
Numerical. She does specialize a lot in healing, so I think she would get that sense. How does Viola look? Like, is she just like out?
Viola? No, she's on the ground.
Viola.
She looks like someone who's in like, you know, the throes of a sickness. She's just coughing and sort of rolling around and, you know, kind of curved up in a ball.
It doesn't look like magical or anything.
No.
The problem with having a billion utility spells is something like this happens, and then all of a sudden you have a billion options. I still don't like this Kunari Blood Mage woman either. You know what? I am going to... So, she doesn't know what's going on with Viola. She doesn't know if this is like blood magic or anything from where she... It could be a sickness, it could not be. She doesn't know what's going on. A lot of stuff's going on here. But she knows that she can help Iona now. So she's gonna come back up the steps a little bit, and she's going to try and bop Iona on the shoulder and cast Heal on her.
Okay.
You can choose up to 3 mana points when you cast this spell for each mana point. Okay, I'm gonna use 3 of them. So you get... rolled 6 points. That is 6 points you didn't have before, though.
I'll take it.
And then I am going to come back down the stairs, and I'm gonna like crouch next to Viola and be like, "Hey, are you okay?" Actually, because I have the Cryorgy talent, I can use Heal as a minor action.
Nice.
So I'm going to attempt to do first aid on her. It's not as effective as, you know, some whatever magic spell. So that is, I have to make a cunning roll apparently. Something I'm actually pretty good at. It needs to beat an 11, and that is 3, 3, 6. That is 14. So that is a 14. Your ally gets back an amount equal to the dragon die, which was 3, plus my cunning, which is 4. So I don't know what is going on with Violet, but that is 7. You can interpret that however you like. I have successfully performed first aid on Violet. Whether it's helpful or not, up to your...
All right, so you've moved down there. Excellent. At 5, Mireille sort of gets up, stumbles forward, and runs her sword into Merite, right into her side. Merite screams, blood explodes and starts pouring out of her wound as she tries to kind of fend off this attack from Mireille. All these guys kind of turn around and see that this is happening. I have a question for Todd.
I also have a. Did you have my walking bomb do his constitution?
No, I didn't.
At the beginning of his turn.
I didn't. 17.
Oh shit! Yeah, the spell ends. I guess.
He's like, oh,
what was
yeah,
your
that
question?
feels good. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Where do you keep your ring?
Where it's always been, on a chain around her neck.
You realize it's been growing warm. And it's kind of getting to the point where it's almost uncomfortable pressed up against your skin, almost to the point where it's kind of like starting to burn. And you hear, and Viola would hear this also, but Viola's not here. You hear in the distance, coming sort of from all around you, but further deeper into the deep roads, kind of like a whistling. And then as the whistling grows in volume, you realize that it's more kind of like a whisper. And as it increases, you notice that the Hurlocks around you are also listening it, because they cock their heads. And as this whisper starts to spread, you see them kind of stop and stand where they are and just sort of like just sort of move like this. Same thing upstairs, Iona. You see they all kind of just stop and stand where they are, and they just start vacillating where they are. You don't hear the whispering or anything. You do notice that there are more coming behind them also. This also seems to be affecting this guy. But not the Kunari.
Mm.
The Kunari is turned around and is kind of seeing what Mary is doing here, stabbing Merite, and as these guys kind of stand there vacillating. Theodora. You hear a voice that you recognize. The voice of your friend.
This guy.
The third shadow. Who says, now's your opportunity. You might want to leave before this gets any worse. Back up at the top, the Kunari woman moves forward and with an almost negligent swing of her sword cuts right through Mireille's neck, crashing her to the ground. She hesitates, she's looking around, and she looks at this guy who is trying to kind of shakes his head, and he looks up and he goes, Why now? Ah! And she reaches down and she picks up Merite. Jesper, you see the Herlocks are all just standing there around you. This guy seems to be kind of shaking off whatever is going on. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Shaking off kind of whatever is going on. She's picking up Merite. Mireille is down. Blood is pooling all the way around her. So is Chael. You can see the blood is pouring out of him. You figure you probably don't have a lot of time to save either. The ring around your neck is vibrating, getting hotter. And then all of a sudden it stops. You hear the whisper still. What do you do?
What do I do? What do I do? What I do is I take this moment to mourn not having any healing spells. No, I think I do also have Chirurgy, however that's pronounced. Chirurgy. Sure, let's go with that pronunciation. Which lets me use heal as a minor action. So I think, oh, she's so torn. She doesn't understand what's happening, but she gets the impression that whatever these whispers are, whatever is going on, if she cuts her way through these Herlocks, they're not going to do anything. They seem kind of enraptured in whatever is happening, whatever is commanding them. So she's going to flit her way over to Chael on the ground, bringing the miasm with her, which luckily he's unaffected by because he's not an enemy. Isn't that nice that that's how that works? So provide some quick first aid. You must be adjacent. Okay. So I just have to roll higher than an 11. And I'm going to use a dragon mark as well.
Oh, okay.
So, come on, old man. Oh my god. Okay. It's plus... I have liturgy, which is in... I think this is going to be another meets it, beats it situation. Yeah, it just makes it. I rolled at 11.
Okay. And
So,
what does he get
okay. Well, he only gets back 2.
Okay.
But it's enough.
It'll save his life.
It'll save his life. She's like just pressing her hands against the wound that was made in his stomach, and she's on her knees next to him. She's shaking, and she's just like, come on. Not now. Not now.
His eyes open up. You can see the blood is slowing. The blood is leaking out of him, is slowing, and he looks up at you and he goes, "Did I miss anything?"
We're still in it, so.
At 13, this guy, still screaming at the sky, "This is foolish! She's right there!" And then, and he looks at the Talvashoth and he says, "Take her!" And she grabs Marite and she starts running with her. And he's like, "We're gonna regret this!" And as he starts moving, he stops. He's like, and he looks at you, Jesper. And this evil look comes on his face. "Did you just save him?" "Great. He gets to watch you die," and he hurls his axe at you.
Uh-oh. He's in the miasm.
Gotcha.
He's in the miasm.
Not a problem. He's in the miasm.
He's in the miasm. Please.
Okay. So that's gonna be, so it's -2, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 8, 9, 10. 19.
Yeah, that definitely hits. I'm not. Yeah, that definitely hits
Okay.
me.
His axe as it comes spinning towards you, hits you right hard, right in the chest, right over your heart, and you can see somewhat to your horror that the blade seems to be infused with red lyrium. So you're gonna start by taking 16 damage minus your armor.
Okay. So 16 damage.
And then you're going to make a constitution roll.
Okay. Let me do that.
Let me rephrase that. A willpower roll, sorry.
A willpower roll.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. I love willpower. I'm gonna use the dragon mark again. I hope someone's been keeping track. I think I've used 3 so far, so this is my 3rd one, so I still have 2 left. I'm so good at willpower. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Is it just a straight willpower roll? Or is it... Would you say that I'm being a little bit courageous right now?
No, it has nothing to do with courage.
Okay, so that's 11.
Okay. You feel as the blade with the red lyrium hits you, you feel your magic start to completely drain out of you. Oh, you have to give me Constitution check also for the taint. All right.
Yeah, okay, right, sure, let me do that. I'm gonna use another dragon mark. I have one left. Because I'm kind of... Oh no, I'm okay. I'm okay at Constitution. I thought I was awful. Oh, so now you roll well. Okay, so that's a 16 now.
That's good. As he starts to run off, you're on your knees. This huge double blade axe has hit you in the chest and kind of bounced off and flown off. The chain around your neck has broken, and you watch almost in slow motion as the ring slides off and falls down and hits the ground. Cling, 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 and then spins on itself and then settles down. Iona.
Can I get down to Murray?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down to Murray. Is she like bleeding very profusely from her neck?
Yeah.
Her hands are shaking.
She was basically at like 1 or 2, and then she took a major hit.
Her hands are shaking as she's trying to like staunch the bleeding, just like apply pressure. And I'm going to try to, I guess, heal. Use my major action to heal.
Okay.
With some bandages. Just desperately trying to wrap a neck wound. It's going to be 6, 12, which beats the target number of 11.
Excellent. What's that give her?
It gives health equal to dragon die, so that was 4 plus my cunning, which is 3, so 7 points back.
Okay. She like starts to breathe again, and like you're tightening this as best you can. It's not super easy around the neck, but you're kind of doing the best you can, and her eyes kind of open, and she grabs your hand and she looks around, and you can tell that she's looking for the Blood Mage, but they've kind of run off a little bit down there.
Can I look around? Like, where do we go?
So you can go almost anywhere. So they're heading towards the south. There's a bunch of the Hurlocks there on the steps, but almost like let me just close this. As you look around, you see that you could either follow these guys. You could probably squeeze out through there and get around there and see what's behind there. There's probably like different passages that you can spot around, so it's not so much a question of, there would be places for you to go. The map is just a map, like
okay,
it's just a combat map, so don't,
okay.
It's not necessarily indicative of what's going on, but you can see various tunnels and other archways that kind of dot the area.
Iona's kind of just looking for a place to go that is not where there are currently Hurlocks blocking and not where those motherfuckers disappeared to. So
okay, you would definitely see a few options around you.
Okay, that's my turn then.
Okay. Iona, Braun comes stumbling out of there. It kind of takes in what's going on, goes to attack the Hurlocks, sees her unmoving and just kind of standing there, then sees Jesper with the axe and the wound, and starts rushing over to her. And as he gets to you, he kind of like and he comes over and he starts looking at your wound, and he's like, "What the hell happened to you? I leave you for 30 seconds." And he starts trying to give you a little bit of a first aid. Shale's like, "We have to get out. We have to move." Back up to the top. Viola is still not moving, so leave to Theodora.
She's still not moving. Everybody else seems up. They're not great, but they're not dead, right? And they're not dying?
Yep.
Okay. Ugh. She sees that everybody else is sort of gearing up to go somewhere. She doesn't see anybody give a direction, so I think she's going to try to pick Viola up. I think Viola's also like significantly taller than her, so this is not. She's gonna try and like put Viola's arm over her shoulders and try to like drag her down toward where everybody else is sort of gathering, because they're currently the furthest from everybody else, and she doesn't like that.
So you move down, and everyone's carrying someone. You've got Viola, Iona's got Mireille, Braun's helping both Jesper and Shale to sort of get up. You watch as the others kind of disappear down the one of the tunnels. Braun turns around and with his foot flips the axe that was thrown at you into the lava, and you watch it sort of hit the lava and just sit there and not melt. And he's like, we have to go. We have to move. We have to get out of here. I don't know what's happening to these things, but
yeah, I know. Can you? I'll be fine. Can you help him, please? Just.
He reaches over and helps up Shale.
Jesper reaches down and grabs her ring, and she doesn't have the chain anymore, so she's gonna slip it onto her middle finger on her right hand.
As you're gathering kind of around here, you see that the Hurlocks are kind of gathering around you. And they're kind of forming a circle, and they're getting closer and closer, and just kind of their mouths are going, and they're still kind of just standing there, but they're kind of massing sort of around you, forming this kind of wall that's starting to encircle you. Chael looks up and goes, Iona, pick a direction.
Iona's gonna pick going west.
You head further down into one of the tunnels, leaving behind you the chittering, chattering horde of Hurlocks, all of you wounded, all of you bleeding, all of you having barely escaped the situation. Viola is still coughing and having difficulty breathing and walking. Theodora, you have to kind of almost carry her as you're moving down this corridor. You move along. The place around you is very oppressive. First of all, you are very aware of being deep underground. The walls, the ceiling, everything kind of crowding in around you. It's dark. The tunnels are old, ancient. The air is almost unbreathable. It's got this very stagnant, old, dusty, musty kind of quality to it. You continue moving down. At some point, you have to stop for a few moments and light torches or lanterns or whatever it is that you have. And in some ways, it almost makes it worse, because while you can see a little bit better around you, you are even more aware now of the darkness that sits just beyond the circles of light emitted from your torches and from your lanterns. Because you are now in the light, and kind of the darkness around you seems even darker now beyond the thing of the light, you constantly feel like you are seeing something moving just at the edge of your vision. You'll hear sounds, rocks moving or kind of being kicked or dripping down water, strange whistling noises as of wind or something kind of passing through a fissure. you start seeing, as you go further into the tunnels, strange markings and symbols carved into the stone, everything old and very ancient, and carrying with it this kind of aura of deep dark mystery. Like, you know that these places are not only ancient, but that a lot of dark things move through here, and it's very oppressive as you make your way through. Some of you are losing blood, some of you are still wounded, and you're not making terribly great time, and before too long you realize you're well and truly lost. You've been trying, several of you, to leave markers or try to find a way to orient yourself, but before long you've completely lost your way. And the architecture around here, which started out as being this strange alien type of architecture that you'd never really seen before, except maybe in some dwarven art pieces or things of that nature, has now given way to just these rough-hewn tunnels. And you can see here and there the remnants of Herlock's passages throughout. You see footprints, you see their detritus, you see ichor and things of that nature, and it's clear that they've been moving through here for some time now. You manage to not run into anything, but eventually the fight, the combat, the forced march, the wounds, everything starts to take its toll, and you find yourselves forced to stop. Thanks to Iona and Braun, who scout out a little bit, you manage to find a sort of little isolated corner in an area that looks like there's been some kind of a landslide or something like that. You discover an archway from that old sort of alien architecture that you saw before, that very squarish, blockish kind of architecture. And you realize that you can kind of squeeze through, and this might have been at some point maybe like a shed of some sort, or some sort of small one-room kind of dwelling that has shifted and kind of sunk into the ground as the walls and ceilings around it kind of crumbled around it, and it's become this almost kind of like a small cave, if you will, that you can manage to kind of squeeze your way in. You also manage to scavenge here and there a little bit of stuff to make fuel for a fire. And because of the way this thing is kind of built, which is kind of inside a hole and a little bit deeper in, you figure that it's probably safe to make a bit of a fire. You will take some time to rest and tend to the wounded. And as you settle in, and what food or water you do have with you, which is really not ample, you realize it's going to run out. Like, by the next time you sit down to eat, it's going to run out. What do you do as you find yourselves all gathered here in this little hole, like animals hiding away in a little bolt hole, a little foxhole? What would each of you like to do?
I think I'm, at least for the first block of time, I'm focusing on healing and tending to the wounded. That is what I do, in prioritization of everybody who is super wounded up all the way up. So I can do that. That's what I'm doing, basically.
Okay.
I think that Iona, after they've found their little hidey hole, she's sort of pacing in a way almost like a caged animal, and her jaw is sort of set in a way that you're surprised you don't hear her teeth cracking with the force that she's biting down. And I think there's going to be a point where she is going to grab Chael by the scruff of his collar and hoist him up. What the fuck was that? Why are they after her?
And as you grab him and pull him up, you notice that his wound has started bleeding again. And you notice that it's almost worse than it was before. The edges of it seem to be angry and red, but in a way that is not normal. And you can almost, as you watch, see his skin tearing and the wound opening wider and wider. He is looking weaker than he was. He's pale and he's having difficulty focusing on you.
Theodora.
I careful. I will rush over. How, like, can I tell what's wrong? This seems very strange.
Well, Jesper, you're starting to feel the same thing as you notice that your wound has continued to get worse and you've lost another 2 hit points.
Ouch.
Would we know that it's... Would Iona know what red lyrium is?
I don't know. Let's see if you do.
What am I rolling?
Rolling rocks tonight.
Roxanne.
Roxanne.
Could I also make a roll? Because I'm just generally seeing if I can figure out what's wrong.
Yeah, so you can go ahead, anyone who wants, make a cunning arcane lore roll.
Ooh. These are.
And if I don't have that, do I just roll straight cunning?
That's right.
Okay.
It did stab me, so maybe I would.
17.
4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
12.
So the target was 13, so if you got 13 or above, you would know what red lyrium is, which is basically tainted lyrium.
I got stabbed. Of course I don't know.
You know that it's extremely rare. It's not something that, kind of runs around too much, but it is a very nasty piece of business.
Well, I can't do anything about that. I don't.
We need to get out of here is what we need to do. We need to find a way out.
I don't know if he is in good enough health that it would.
There's nothing. Nothing?
There's not much I can do here. I'm not.
What you're thinking, Theodore, is that you could probably do some healing, but it's going to do is it's going to delay basically the effect, right?
Yeah, it's very Red Queen's race here. I can try to the effects would probably outpace any healing that I could do for him, is what I'm saying.
Say that again?
No. I'm basically repeating it. It's the effects of what is happening to him it will probably outpace any healing that I can do. I can try.
Please.
Yeah, so you're pretty sure that, that's exactly what would happen. It would eventually kind of outpace it, but you don't feel like you have really too much of a choice.
No, she's making puppy
right
dog eyes
now.
at me.
I'm gonna say that you can.
I can do a heal and then a heal spell, heal action, but that doesn't do much. It's I will try.
I mean, anything will work. Whether it's a heal action or a spell, it'll buy some time.
I'm gonna do a heal action. 5. I mean, that's a billion. I actually rolled really well for once.
Excellent.
Oh, I rolled real bad on the dragon die is the problem.
While all that's happening, Iona, can you give me a cunning natural lore roll?
I sure can.
What did you get, Gina?
Hold on, I'm doing math. 1 plus cunning, so that is 5, which is ironic considering I rolled 5s on the other die, but he gets 5 points.
Okay.
16 on the natural lore.
You know a few things. So getting back to thinking back on, like, you know, things that you know from your people and your training as an herbalist, and so on and so forth, you know that there's not really any specific medicine that would have an effect on like, you don't know, oh yeah, there's a cure for this specific thing. What you do know, and this kind of comes to you from where you know you are. You're near the Silent Plains, and you know that on the Silent Plains there is a since the devastation that occurred, there's no flora at all that grows there except for one thing. It's called the Felicidis aria, which is a Silent Plains rose. It is very rare, but the rumors surrounding it are that it is extremely potent as a healing herb and as something that can be used to counteract magical effects. So it's not specifically that, you know, made for dealing with a wound like this, but it's the one thing that kind of comes to mind as something that could potentially have an effect.
If we want him to make it, we have to get back to the surface. There's one herb we could maybe find in the Silent Plains, but we can't do anything down here.
I quite agree.
I think Iona's gonna look to Braun. And do you have any way for us to get out of here? Surely the wardens traverse the deep roads often.
And so when you look at Braun, he again seems kind of torn, where he's trying to care for hey, Trollord Games coming in hot with the raid. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. I don't know if it's who's behind the controls there tonight, Chuck, I guess, but thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you guys. We're playing some Dragon Age because, you know, rawr. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you guys. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good game. Braun, you notice, is once again kind of torn. He's on one hand trying to see the Chael, but he's also very much concerned about Jesper's welfare, and so he's, you know, kind of hovering between the two and being really kind of useless about about everything and not helping either. You know, he's just, and I think as you watch him, you can kind of see that he's suddenly like feeling or thinking like these two people that he loves like are possibly gonna die, and it's kind of like that realization is hitting him like suddenly, right? And you can tell that he's kind of having difficulty processing that a little bit. He looks more like a frightened boy at this point, really, than you know, a tough Grey Warden who just defeated an ogre. And when you say his name, he kind of looks and goes, "Sorry, Iona. What was that? What did you say? Were you talking to me?"
We need to get out of here. We need to leave. We need to get back to the surface. Surely the wardens have a way to get out.
I've never been down in these particular tunnels, but there might be. And he gives another look at Chael and then at Jesper, and he's like, yes, let me go see. Let me go see. I'll go take a scout around and see. see if I can find anything. Mind them, would you?
Right.
And he slips out through the little entrance that you made and scampers off. Chael and Mireille are both kind of out of it right now, both quite wounded and resting and trying to get their strength back. Viola is no longer coughing, but she has fever. She is shivering. She's still kind of all rolled up in a ball as if she's kind of cramped up, and then once in a while she will kind of cough and a little bit of blood will come out.
Could I, just as like an experimental thing, because Theodora is not super familiar with blood magic, but given what we had just seen, she wants to, just as a test, cast Dispel Magic on Viola, just in case that there's anything affecting her, like magically.
Okay, you reach out, you cast your spell. I'm not going to make you worry about casting it. You feel it kind of activate and reach out, but it doesn't find anything. It just sort of, rolls over her and...
Okay, just to test to see if that would work. Because she's concerned about this now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you here, is that I don't want to get more into it until Pyrea possibly comes back. So so for now, just leave it be. Hopefully, I don't know that Pyrea will come back, but if ever it becomes a situation where we'll deal with it then. But for now, I'd rather kind of save it a little bit for when Pyrea is here. So she she's trying to same thing. She's kind of sleeping or definitely looking ill. She looks like someone who's got a really bad flu or something like that.
Oh yeah, I know that. Theodora doesn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't have my magic back, do I?
Yeah, you have whatever you would have had on you when you came down.
Okay. Well, because I got stabbed with the Lyria, but it was fucky with the magic. So how do I feel? How am I feeling?
Oh,
how am I feeling?
Well, you feel, so you're basically at 0 magic points. So you feel like you do whenever you spent yourself completely emptying everything.
Got it.
You are, I would say, not unlike. Sorry, what?
So she feels useless, is what I said. But go on.
And you would feel a little bit, sort of like Pyrea does, I guess. Not Pyrea, but Viola to some degree, like feverish and kind of shivering a little bit, and you feel weak and afflicted, basically.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. Mm-hmm.
You wait in silence, taking care of the wounded, waiting for Braun to bring back news. It takes a while. He's gone several hours, to the point where hey, thank you, Varla, for that gifted sub. Varla has given 223 gift subs to this channel. Like,
that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to Varla's place and give Varla a hug. Your boy Big.
Hi.
Braun's gone for several hours, to the point where you're starting to feel like maybe something's gone wrong. You have to heal everyone again at some point to kind of keep their strengths up. But eventually, Braun comes back and you hear noise outside, and he'll say something in Elvish, a word that you've taught him to say, like, so that you recognize that it's him, on those nights when one of you was scouting or something like that. And he says that and you realize it's him, and he comes back and he slips in. He's like, well, I don't know if it's the answer to everything we need, but I found the other part of the mine. This used to be what looks like a lyrium mine, but it's been tapped out, and it looks like perhaps the people who were here were attacked by Darkspawn some time ago. But if it is in fact a mine, there will be a way out that we can find. I was How are they? Can they move? And he looks to you, Theodora. Okay, can they be moved? And as he's talking, as he's saying this, I'm sorry, I'll let you do that in a second, Neil. He has moved in and come up to Jesper and just sort of sat down next to you and pulled you to him. Can they move?
I would rather not move them, but they can be moved.
I can't stay.
They don't have a choice.
We'll have to take our chances then. Steelman's tougher than boot leather. I think you'll be fine. And Mirai's seen worse situations than this also. And he looks to you, Jesper, and he pushes a lock of hair away from your face like, I want to buy you love. Think you're good for a little walk?
I'll be fine. I'll be better when we're out, I think.
Well then, the faster we're out, the better then. All right, let's wig them up. Let's everyone eat whatever we have left to get as much strength as we can. And I'll guide you to the mine. I'm sure we'll find a tunnel or some sort of way to get out of here. And if not, well, we'll find something. And so you will eat the rest of your food, realizing there's almost nothing left, saving just a little bit of water for emergency situation. You will probably have to make a trip for Chayla and Mireille. You can do that fairly easy enough. There's a bunch of materials around. You can walk. Jesper, not too far off. Braun can help you also. And the lot of you will head out, and very soon you will find yourselves approaching, as Braun described it, what appears to be an old mine. You can see the remains of blue lyrium veins shining through the dark gray slate of the stone. You can see the squarish, blockish architecture of the area, very likely a dwarven mine, as they are the only ones that can safely mine lyrium. The constructions, the scaffolding, the elevators, things like that are very old, seem to be in very bad state. The wood rotted. You can clearly see evidence of a massive battle here. You see skeletons, you see the remains of warriors and armor and things like that, some darkspawn bodies. And as you approach it, you will take a break, because I think this is a good spot to go and take a break. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Hey, Creep, thank you everyone for hanging out, coming in. We're going to take a short break right now, Titan, as we like to say around here. Then we'll come back and see what could be hiding in an old abandoned lyrium mine. I'm sure there's nothing horrible living in these holes, you know? Nothing bad ever happens in these games. To really make an effort to make bad things happen in these games. Well, good. Half of you are dead, half of you are dying. It's all good. It's gonna be great.
We're already dead.
I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm actually fine.
You're actually fine.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. So thank you for hanging out. I'm not saying they're in a tight spot, but they are in a mine. Mines are notoriously very confined areas. Just saying. Also, I thought about skipping this part of the adventure, but you know what they say. A mine is a terrible thing to waste. And it's just sitting there. Just sitting there, waiting for you. You are on the lam from the Darkspawn. Several members of your group are wounded. Some terribly so, with both Jesper and Chael having wounds that seemingly don't heal and get worse over time. Infused with red lyrium, which, you know, is never really good. No, just a ginger ale, please, Creep, thank you. The rest of you are at, you have Vila, who is very sick right now and unable to do much. You have found your way under Braun's guidance to this the rest of the Lyrium mine, the abandoned Lyrium mine, where you've seen evidence of quite long ago an attack by the Darkspawn that decimated the dwarves that were here. There are bodies, remnants of bodies, skeletons, sort of everywhere. And you approach then the empty mine with a little trepidation, perhaps being careful not to put yourself into an even tighter spot than you've been. And Kenku has once more decided not to work with. Brilliant. Thank you, Kenku, for not working when we need you to work. As you are moving around, trying to find a way out, a tunnel, perhaps some scaffolding, or a chimney, or anything that might offer you a way out of here. You hear a voice, and whilst you all hear the voice, it is only Iona who understands, unless anybody else speaks Elvish. Elven, of course, now not being a pure language, but being kind of a mishmash of, leftover Elvish words and a few other things. You hear, well, you're certainly not Darkspawn.
I think hearing someone speak Elvish, Iona tilts her head and she's trying to look for the source of it.
In one of the scaffoldings nearby, you can just make out a shape that is hiding. Someone is kind of up in those scaffoldings and sort of stick into the shadows, and slowly moves his head into the light. And you see an elven man, long black hair, is and I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. Valasleen is very strange. It's not the type of Valasleen that you've seen before. It's very different than anything you've seen. It's more like a mask almost that's been drawn on his face, rather than kind of the more typical sort of tree or vein looking kind of design. Which begs the question, how did you find your way here then?
We sort of fell through a floor.
Oh, that's not good.
You wouldn't really know a way out, would you?
I do. If I come down, are you going to try to kill me, or?
Look to the party members and be like, don't fire upon him.
He comes down slowly and steps out into the light. He's wearing he's wearing like handmade leather stuff, like someone who would live off of hunting, or kind of a more nomadic lifestyle might have, sort of thing. He's got a few weapons on him, a bow and a few short swords.
I think Iona just looks really puzzled by him.
He approaches and says, I do in fact know a way out. My name is Solwyn. The only problem is that it's currently nighttime. Not that we can tell.
And why is that a problem?
Yes, it is, because nighttime is when they feed the broodmother.
The what?
The broodmother.
What is that?
Broodmother is where Darkspawn come from. some poor woman who was captured at some point and transformed by the taint, and now her entire existence is giving birth to Darkspawn, and she happens to be just a little further up that way.
Jesper looks at Braun like, what the fuck?
Braun's like, there's a
What
brood mother
Grey
here.
Warden lore.
Yeah. Braun's like, there's a brood mother here. Yep. She's been here for quite some time, well entrenched, and night is when the Hurlocks feed her. They travel to the surface and capture whatever living matter they can and bring it down here and feed her so that she can continue doing her job. And Braun looks, no wonder there were so many of them, so many of the Darkspawn under Hasmal. They're quite a ways from Hasmal now. A little bit further north, you're basically under the Silent Plains.
And what are you doing here?
I come down here to scavenge once in a while. We live in the plains. And
Who's we?
my people.
Who's your people?
Not very well known, are we? We call ourselves the Dahalen, children. My people have roamed the Silent Plains for a very long time now.
And who do you follow?
Who do we follow?
You said you're the children? You're children of what?
Well, we consider ourselves children because we're sort of new, I guess, in some ways. We respect what you are doing in the Dales with you and yours, but we feel that clinging to the old ways has not been very fruitful for us, and the new ones living in the alienages of the city, well, that doesn't seem very appealing either, so we're sort of forging our own way. You are aware, of course, of the Virasan, the Virborasan, and the Viradalan, the way of the arrow, the way of the bow, and the way of the forest, that many of you Dalish folk follow. We prefer Virakwalan, the way of the river. Flow ever onward, adapt your form to the land around you, and in time the very rock itself will give way to you.
But ironic, you follow the way of the river and you live in the Silent Plains.
We're very aware of that, but it can't remain this way forever.
And that Valisline on your face?
Yes, we find it important to remember things, but again, it is good sometimes to break away from tradition and find a new way. You'll be very welcome amongst my people if we manage to get out of here, but we may have to wait until the morning so that the Darkspawn stop moving back and forth through the tunnels that lead upstairs. I, unfortunately, wasted too much time down here, and now I have to wait it out.
I don't know if we have time to wait.
You wouldn't have any herbs from the Silent Plains on you, would you?
I do, but nothing remarkable. What seems to be the problem?
Two of our companions were hit with red lyrium infused weapons. Can't seem to heal them for very long.
I'm no healer. There's nothing I would really be able to do for you. I strongly suggest we do not attempt the tunnels until they stop moving. It'll only be a few hours. And your friends make it that long.
Looked at Theodora.
Maybe. This one will. I don't know about the other one. Possibly.
Well, obviously, the decision is yours to make. I personally think it would be folly to try. They may possibly survive the night down here. We will all surely die. There are many, many darkspawn. They protect the broodmother fiercely. But I will guide you. If you decide you wish to leave, I would not put my own fears and let them interfere in a life or death equation for your friends.
I'm gonna look to Jesper. We can risk all of us now, or we can wait it out and...
It's up to you. The risk is worth taking, then it's worth taking. Braun says, "There's no lying, I can feel them. There are a lot of them, but I might be able to guide us to avoid them. But I wouldn't want to promise or make any guarantee that I'll be able to avoid all of them."
Jesper looks at Chael.
Looking pretty pale. He's kind of moving a little bit in his slumber. Doesn't look good.
We'll stay. We'll stay. We'll wait.
The tunnels over here are not frequented by the darkspawn. Usually we should be fairly safe there. We can probably barricade one of the entrances and leave a guard up. Should only be 4 or 5 hours before we can move. Come,
Thank you.
I'll help you. And I'll guide you over to an area nearby through another tunnel. All the delirium's gone from here, so you're not in any risk whatsoever. You'll be able to make a little camp somewhere and make everyone kind of comfortable. You give another round of healing to them, perhaps, and you get the sense that they can probably last out, a few more hours. You'll need to, get a move on it as soon as you can, but certainly for now, you'll be fine. As you settle down to get some rest so that you can heal up a little bit and regain some mana points, who is going to stay up? Who is going to go to sleep? Will you put a guard out? Solwyn will take his turn. There's no problem with that. Braun also. Braun, by the way, was wounded, obviously, in this fight with the ogre, but he didn't have any sort of festering wound like the other two have, and you were able to kind of heal him up pretty easily. So how do you want to organize that? Who will stay up? You probably only need, I will say, you probably only need 4 people to stay up for the entirety of the time. 2 of them, Braun will be 1 and Solon will be 1, so 2 other people would have to take turns staying up.
I don't know, stay up.
I'm gonna try and split. Could I get one of the ones in the middle so that I think Theodora does not want to. She doesn't trust that they're gonna make it through the night, so she wants to be she'll take something, one of the watches in the middle, just to check on them and to watch on them.
Excellent, no problem. You settle down. Making everyone as comfortable as possible. Braun will hesitate at first, but then will ask if you want to sleep near him.
I think it's not even a question for her. As soon as they're kind of settled, Jesper almost burrows herself against his side. The pain of her wound is festering and deep, and her whole body aches, but they're alive and there's hope, but she can't bear to be awake right now and be alone if the worst were to happen with Chael.
He'll tell you, go ahead and rest, love. I'll keep an eye out, and if anything is happening, I'll wake you and let you know. We're safe for now. He'll need your strength in the morning, so...
I don't feel very strong.
Well, that's what a wee bit of sleep's for, then. I'll perk you right up. Here. Put your head right here, and he holds you. In no time, you are asleep. The night goes on without any serious incident. Theodora, you wake up, taking the halfway point watch, check on your charges. Everyone seems to be holding okay. You tighten a couple of bandages, maybe, put a little more salve here, or kind of do a little... And as you're doing that, you hear... The orders have changed, sister.
I'm a little busy, if you haven't noticed.
Oh, they seem fine. Might we have a brief conversation, perhaps away from the others, so that we don't disturb anyone? They all seem so tired and in need of their rest.
Theodore doesn't really see having a choice here, so she gestures at him to go ahead.
You step aside a little bit with him. Those Darkspawn who attacked you, the ones that were leading them, clearly were after someone in your group. Do you know who it was?
I don't know. There's a lot going on.
Yes, indeed there is. It would be very good of you, but also be very good for the Chantry. If you were to find out who it was they were so intent on fighting, and perhaps why. Obviously, Gereon is no longer a concern.
You seem very fickle.
Well, it is not me. I serve the will of Andraste, as do you.
Do I believe that after talking to Reverend Mother Rhea? She was a little... Does she believe that? Like, does that sound legit to her? Like, how sincere? She's unsure. I think she thinks that for a second, and she doesn't know what to think about that. And so she just sort of tucks it away and just...
You're not beginning to doubt, are you, sister?
It's just... There's a lot... I don't take changing plans very well.
Well, as you said, there's a lot going on. We must adapt. Certain information has now come to light that makes your previous orders redundant. This is much more interesting. If the Darkspawn are very specifically looking for someone in your group, then that person must be of some importance to them, and thus problematic for us all. The chant of light will not suffer that such a false note be incorporated. Now will it?
There are many dissonant verses, sir, and...
There are, but we all know that just because certain words have been put aside, it doesn't mean they don't carry some form of wisdom in them.
What am I supposed to do if I figure out who it is? Like, how do I get this information back to you? You seem perfectly capable of popping in and out and following things around.
Oh, you
what am I
don't
doing
have
here?
to give me any information. Not right now. But once you do figure out who it is, a gift. And from beneath his cloak, he pulls out a dagger. This beautiful blue and gold inlaid handle with this silver sheath. You may need to use this.
She's gonna, like, hesitate, and then she will take it very hesitantly. Not very good with...
It is a special weapon. Draw the blade.
Just gonna very slowly do that.
As you do, a red glow starts to emanate from it. Very similar to what you saw earlier. However, you don't feel any discomfort around it.
Just gonna put it back.
It has been enchanted very specifically for this purpose. You will not suffer any ill effects from wielding it, at least not short term. You may want to get rid of it once you've done what needs to be done. If the Darkspawn wants someone in your group, that can't be good for any of us. Whoever that person is and what they mean to them can only spell disaster for the rest of us. You'd be doing all the good people of Thedas, the Chantry, and Tevinter people a great service.
Was it you who stopped them? The whistle and the...
No, I have no clue what that was. I was certain you were all dead, to be honest. I was getting ready to report that there was no longer any threat. Well, whatever that was, it saved everyone, including the one they want. For Tevinter and Andraste.
Okay. Alright.
Very good, sister. I'll be around.
Always seem to be.
And he slinks back. When you return to the camp, you notice that Jesper is having very fitful sleep. She is mumbling like someone who's feverish, shaking a little bit.
I'm just gonna hike up the blankets a little bit. Seems a little cold. Lots of stone down here. Not a lot of...
As you do so, she whispers something under her breath. Conductor.
Does that mean anything to me?
No. But we need to go back a little bit in time now to a few minutes before. Jesper,
Hi,
you remember this place?
I do. I've been here
You remember
before.
the broken bell at the bottom of the tower? The winding staircase that leads up to the mirror.
I don't want to be here. Why am I here again?
It's not like last time, though. Last time you could hear Iona outside, and there was a power something that called to you. You could see a green dragon embedded in the walls. It's gone now. It's just an empty, cold, wintry tower.
Are there windows?
Yes.
I think Jesper feels the cold kind of going deep into her, just cold to her bones. And she tries to kind of wrap her arms around herself to warm up, and she goes to look out the windows.
When you look out the window, you see your friends lying asleep around the campfire that you built. You see Theodora kneeling next to you, leaning as if you're trying to speak to her. And behind her, you see slowly forming and rising this strange twisted creature that is forming out of shadows around, and it's growing behind her, and it is this strange hunched over creature, its skin rotting and falling apart and held together with pieces of leather strapped together with sinews and cords.
I try to yell. I try to get her attention. I say her.
You yell, you scream, you say her name. She is pulling the covers up higher over you. This creature is rising up behind her, looming over her.
I have to get down. I have to.
There's nothing down. The only thing that you can see is the stairwell that goes up. But you don't want to go there, do you?
No. I have to get there. I have to get to her. I have to get out of this place. So I try to do that. I try to make my way to them as quickly as possible.
They are not the ones you should be running to, child. You should be coming to me.
I don't know you.
You don't know me, but you know what I represent. Come speak to me. You know where to find me. Upstairs.
No, my friends need me.
There's not much you can do for them now, but you can save all of Tevinter. You do not know me. They call me the Conductor.
The Conductor.
Come. It's time for you to come home. The Black City awaits you.
I can save everyone?
You can save everyone. You can end the war between the Darkspawn and the people of Thedas, you can give Tevinter back its place as the rightful rulers of this world. It is our destiny. It is what we strive for. Your friend Theodora knows. Your friend Viola knows. They serve Tevinter.
If they know, if they serve Tevinter, then why aren't you helping them?
I am. That's why I'm talking to you. All three of you are children of Tevinter.
I know. She looks up the stairwell, where this voice has been permeating through the tower. She's gonna look out the window again.
The shade is hovering there behind Theodora. Theodora is still fussing over you. The others are asleep. The shade stands there ready. It is breathing and moving up and down. It does so.
If I go with you, if I come talk to you, what about that thing?
I stopped the others. I can stop that one. Come see me. Come home, child.
I think she casts a final look outside the window at her friends, and she slowly starts making her way up the tower.
When you arrive upstairs, you see the mirror is there. But as you approach it, it's not your face you see reflected in it. You see a strange being, almost a man, but it's been transformed, changed. It's as if it is wearing the face of a man stretched over the body of some other creature. The power that emanates from him is certain, but there's also in his eyes a certain benevolence. It's not the face of evil that you might have expected. He looks upon you with actual love and care. It is good to finally lay eyes on you. I've been looking for you for a very long time.
Was it you I heard in the mines?
Of course. They answer to me, and soon they can answer to you.
Did you send them for me? Did you?
Not directly. Those who work for me know the things and the people that interest me and scour Thedas for them. I'm not constantly aware of all their movements or goings on, but I know that Scorius has been after you for quite some time. Most of your life, in fact. The one you call Vale has been very good at hiding you, always moving, always living in different places and never staying put very long. It infuriated Scorius no end. But once he found you again, he let me know. And so I've come to take you home.
Chael's dying because your servant came for me. I won't go anywhere until I know he's going to be okay. I won't.
I had high hopes for the Grey Warden. At a time, I felt that their connection to the Darkspawn might be the bridge that we needed. Unfortunately, things did not go as I planned. He is inconsequential in the grand scheme of things.
Not to me.
There are greater things at stake here, child. Would you sacrifice the rest of the world, the thousands and thousands who will die in this senseless war with the Darkspawn, to save one man who is old?
I just want him to be okay. I need time. Please just let me take him to the fields and let me heal him.
That will not save him. Only I can save him. And you are wasting precious time. But if he means so much to you, if they all do, it's a trifle to ensure their safety, but... And he reaches out and his hand comes out of the mirror. You must come home to the Black City with me. It yearns for you, calls for you, and misses you so.
You swear they'll be okay?
They will be fine. They will not die here. They will not die of the wounds that they have received here. I cannot guarantee that they will ever die. Obviously. But if saving them here and now is this important to you, and if it will end this waste of time, then I will do it. And you must take my hand.
Jesper lifts her hand.
Theodora, you hear the name Conductor. You move the covers. As you do, Jesper's hand rises. And as it does, you notice on her finger a ring. It is a ring with a ferryman on it. Do you know what this ring represents?
I do. I do indeed. And I just say under my breath, oh dear.
You see this dark green energy start to wrap itself around Jesper. You see her start to shake. The ring seems to be glowing, getting hotter. You can smell her flesh burning, as if it's trying to fuse itself to her. You look around, the others are still sleeping, snoring, slumbering. she is starting to lift off the ground, carried by this green energy that surrounds her. She is reaching for something. You hear the knife. Use the knife. It's her.
I don't want to do. Theodora doesn't want to do that. Could she grab her? Could I try to grab her hand and slip the ring off?
You can. You grab her hand and you start trying to pull the ring. As you do, you can see that it has started to fuse itself to her skin. And the skin is starting to rip as you pull on it. And the skin is burning and you can smell it. And you're trying to pull it off.
Could I can't tell. She does not want to stab Jesper. This is not. Oh my goodness. I am assuming this is not a spell effect, but like, if she can't get the ring off, she is going. Trying to think. If she can't get the ring off, she's going to try and dispel any magical effect that is on here. I'm pretty sure this is not going to work, but that is
what are you targeting with your dispel?
It's remove all magical spell effects from a visible target, so I'm going to cast Jesper and try to end any magical effects that are on her.
Okay. Go for it.
Roll a test of my magic versus the spell power of any affected magic, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to use a dragon mark for this.
I have a question for you before you do that.
Yes.
Do you think about perhaps using blood?
No. She does not. She is very much a subscriber of blood magic, is the purview of a desperate and weak mind. Not that it helps her. Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 total against...
19? Hey, Guild Superior, thank you for coming in. What's up, Dave and the gang? We're appreciating you dropping by. We're playing some Dragon Age here, and it's, we're cooking. We're cooking Jesper's finger with a ring.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you guys. Hey, Scottish Jeff, what's up, guys? So what's up, Theodora? 19?
So 19, an attempt to...
You reach out and cast your spell, and there's this strange thing that happens where you feel it. It's about to... You cast it on Jesper, and you know, you kind of spread the magic and it goes around her, but the second it starts going out, it concentrates and it targets the ring and it gets absorbed in the ring, and then for a moment nothing happens, and then you feel it spread out from the ring as if it's being amplified by the ring, and your spell explodes and covers most of the area. Myriad, you come to suddenly feeling really sluggish, like you've been, you know, like when you get pulled out of deep sleep and you're kind of just really kind of discombobulated and you feel like you're having trouble moving. That's what you're feeling like, but you can smell burning flesh. And as you kind of start to kind of awaken and move around, you look, and looming behind Theodora, you see this shade that is moving and is about to engulf her.
I think like it's one of those like moments where like you wake up and like you hear something that like something drop in the other room, and you're still half asleep as like you're getting up, and so she is like lurching to her feet, and she sees this shade behind Theodora and like instinctively is just grabbing her bow, which she like keeps next to her at all times, and is just flinging an arrow.
You pick up the bow, let loose an arrow. Theodora, you are focused on this spell that you see now kind of spreading, and as it explodes, you kind of recoil from it, and you look up to see Iona aiming her bow at you, and she lets go, and the arrow fly just over your shoulder, and you hear something screeching behind you. You can see that the others are starting to kind of awake. Braun especially, and Solwyn are sort of awake, and they're all kind of feeling kind of very sluggish, but they look behind you and their eyes go wide and they start like reaching for their weapons. What do you do?
Okay, there's this thing leaning over me. Theodora does not know what it's targeting, honestly. What happened with, like, is the ring still burning through Jesper's finger?
Yeah, it's still, you can still smell it burn. It's like it's fusing itself to her finger.
Oh gosh. She didn't. This clearly did not work at all. She does not have any other recourse, so
it worked in that it woke everybody else up.
Oh, that's better than anything else. She doesn't really have any good recourse at this point, so she will take the knife, and I'm going to try and cut Jesper's finger off.
Jesper, you reach out your hand. Scottish Jeff out there, just making sure. You reach out your hand and you take his, and as you take it, you see looming before you, instead of the wall, instead of the mirror, instead of the conductor, you see this vast black city in the sky floating, and you feel a deep sense of connection. You feel as if you're looking at your home. You feel homesick. You miss it. You don't remember much about it, but you remember that it's home. His hand is wrapped around yours. It's strong and holds you tight. And he says, "Will you come then?"
Yes. Yes, I'll come. If it can help end the war and save everyone, I'll come.
Sweet child, you will save everyone. And as he says that, this pain goes through your arm, and you see your hand explodes in blood, and he lets go of your hand. And you can see anger on his face, and you feel this incredible pain shooting through your arm, and you start falling. You've fallen off, and as you tip back, you're falling down the shaft of this tower. You see the spiraling staircase spiraling around you. You see the mirror, the room upstairs getting further and further. You hear him scream. You feel the distance to your home. You feel the distance to the Black City as it gets further and further away from you. The pain in your hand is intense. You wake up. You can see Theodora holding a knife over your hand is bleeding. Your finger, whichever finger you'd put the ring on, is gone. You hear the sounds of battle. There's a fight going on. You smell burned flesh. You fall back. You hit the ground. What do you do?
What do I do? I think I'm in shock. I don't think there's... I'm looking at my hand. I see my finger's been cut off. The ring is missing. I was ripped out of going home, of saving everyone, an opportunity lost. And I'm in pain. I'm still wounded. There's fighting happening. I'm just dizzy, and I like try to sit up, I think, and I'm holding my hand to my chest. I'm just probably crying. And she's just trying to look around to get a grip of what's happening.
Theodora, what are you doing? You are holding You were holding her hand for a moment and it slipped out. Her blood is covering your hand. The blade that you're holding is covered in blood. Also, the finger and the ring are on the ground.
What is the ring doing at this point? Like, did it stop doing anything?
It hits the ground. It fell off the finger and it's just lying there. And as you look at it, you know the significance of it. You know the ring of the Archon. The ring that denotes the rightful ruler of Tevinter. It's just sitting there. You know that these are guarded incredibly closely. They are destroyed every time an Archon dies and a new one is made for the new Archon. This is a ring of tremendous power and importance to your people.
Okay, could I do... She doesn't really believe that there's like, you know, she doesn't know how these things work. Like, she knows of them. She doesn't know about any like in-depth, like, are there enchantments? But she also knows that like there are like fake ones out there. Usually they're the ones that get destroyed, but if you can fake one to destroy them when there's a new Archon, you can just easily make a fake one. Completely forgetting Jesper for a second because this is just way more important. She can't check now if it's a real one. So I think she's going to take out like one of like maybe her bandages or like a handkerchief or something that she has, and she's going to try and pick it up without touching it.
You reach down, you wrap it up, you pick it up, no problem.
Yeah. And then I'm going... And then she's going to try and staunch the bleeding of Jesper's finger while telling her that, like, very ineffectively that the ring was trying to burn through her finger. That's what she's going to try and... Like, are you okay? You were just... was trying to... Where is this shade thing that was behind me?
So, meanwhile, while all that's taken place, Iona, you and Braun and Solwyn have gotten up and have attacked this shade and have been fighting it. You've done pretty good work of it, striking it down. The second something happened and you could see it lose strength and power and vitality, and with both you and Braun fighting it, you managed to deliver a killing blow to it, and as you did, you saw its shape kind of evaporate and explode into this miasma of dark, sort of oily shadows, and you saw Viola's body drop to the ground from it. And you turn and you see Jesper kind of hyperventilating, blood coming down her hand. She seems to be wounded. You see Theodora kind of trying to grab her hand. There's a knife on the ground that's got blood at her knees. What do you do?
Iona's not concerned with Viola. She doesn't really fucking know her. And she's going to beeline over to Jesper and like kind of shove Theodora out of the way, like ripping off a part of her sash and just like trying to stop the bleeding. What happened? What do I...
Where's my ring?
Jesper, what happened?
I can't.
The image of your home, the Black City, falling away from you. You can almost still see it up in the sky, getting smaller and smaller. You can feel that feeling of being home, of being where you belong, almost for the first time in your life, dissipating, seeping out of you like warmth in the winter.
I think she doesn't really manage to get much out. She in losing that feeling, now seeks out kind of the next closest thing to home that she has. And as Iona is wrapping this sash around her hand, Jesper just like barrels into her and just starts sobbing against Iona's chest, clinging to her clothes, and just like making herself very small, like a child.
Iona is going to grab you, and she's going to kind of throw a look over your shoulder towards Theodora as she whispers, "You're fine, it wasn't real. It was just a dream."
And as you whisper that to her and hold her against you, her trembling form shaking and crying and sobbing, and as Theodora looks at you with this look of bewilderment on her face, and you whisper words to try and soothe Jesper, you hear in the distance, somewhere reverberating, echoing along the walls of the place, the howl of a wolf, mournful, but also filled with a dire warning. That, my friends, is where we are going to end session of Dragon Age. Dissonant versus.
I'm sure we're all making great choices here.
Yeah, every single one of us.
This is fine. This is what we wanted.
This is what we. This is, guys. This
Going
is
according
what
to
we
plan.
signed up for.